Once upon a time, there was a castle called Oigeyo in Wakasasuku, in Aba province. One day, young samurai from the castle were having a party at a bar in the castle town. When the amount of alcohol had increased and the party was becoming lively, they decided, let's have a test of courage, and that's what they did. As for what kind of test of courage it was, the loser of the draw would have to go try to take home a talisman affixed to an Abadu temple at the top of Mount Hyonosen. The person who lost in the lottery was a young samurai named Kumo, who was the most violent in Wakasasuku, and he was a skilled samurai who plotted to take back the ritual article instead of the amulets and surprise everyone. When he went home and told his parents, they said, "Stop it, you'll be punished, and you know there's some weird gossip going on about that temple." Kuwataro said, "What's that?" Another servant, his father grinned, wondering if his arrogant attitude would work. His father, Ismor, was the greatest swordsman in the castle. His father knew Kuwataro's nature, so he told him sternly, "Okay, go ahead. But if you see something strange, don't do anything." It was finally the morning of the test of courage. Kuwataro set out after lowering a gourd filled with alcohol to ward off evil spirits. To alleviate his loneliness, Kuwataro climbed the mountain path while drinking a little gourd sake and singing out loud, "Inshuwa wakasa ni sakura ga seida." Kuwataro arrived at the temple and began preparing to take the ritual article home. Suddenly, the area shined brightly. There was a loud sound that startled him, and little wonder, lightning had struck a cedar tree near the temple. As he finished wrapping the sacred ritual article in the furoshiki, he heard voices coming from outside the temple. Who the heck could he be here in the middle of the night? Kuwataro wondered. Wow, that was a huge thunderstorm, they both said. We don't want lightning to hit our heads, so why don't we take a break in that temple? Then, a sound like a cane hitting the ground approached the temple. There was a strange smell, so Kuwataro quietly approached the door to take a look outside. But suddenly the floorboards were rotten, and he accidentally made a loud noise. Then someone outside shouted, "Is there someone inside the temple?" The voice continued, "I don't know who you are, but I think I was injured by the lightning that just fell. Could you please help me?" Kuwataro answered nervously. What kind of injury could it be? But as soon as he got out of the temple, he cried out, "What is this?" There was something like a bamboo blind stuck to the door, so he tried to remove it with both hands. But his hands quickly became tangled in the blind. The more he struggled, the more his whole body became wrapped around the bamboo blind. "Oh boy, we've caught some prey," said one of the people outside. "Oops, this is a trap," cried Kuwataro. His whole body was already wrapped, and his body was suspended in the air. He felt himself rising to the ceiling above the eaves of the temple. At that moment, he realized that this was what his father was talking about. As this happened, Two voices shouted, "Who is that, and who are you?" He started hearing a dull sound like the cutting of a cane, and then he heard people shouting "Yikes" and "Help me." After that, he heard a groan and a flopping bang together with a sound like a deer falling. Then, Kuwataro's body felt like it was going down little by little, and then there was a final thud and he fell to the floor. Kuwataro fainted. The sun rose and it became bright, and Kuwataro woke up. When he suddenly looked under the eaves of the temple, he saw two large spiders with their legs torn apart. Kuwataro hurried home and quickly fell asleep from fatigue. When he woke up, his father was by his bedside. "You were lucky to live. Those spiders are monsters that test people's hearts. You didn't do what I told you. That was a dangerous situation," he said and left Kuwataro's room. Kuwataro found out that it was his father who saved his life yesterday. Then Kuwataro cried continuously in his futon, feeling grateful to his father for saving his life. What is Seiyugonin, by the way? As for what happened to the ritual article that Kuwataro brought back from Inaba-do Temple, there is a legend that it is the Seiyugonin that is enshrined at the present day to Kyuane Shrine. Legend has it that Seiyugonin was acquired by the monk who served as the principal image in the Seiyu Temple of Kinpasen-ji Temple in Yoshino District, Nara Prefecture during his training on Mount Kinpasen.